Hi, Year 3. Happy Monday. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Today we are going to be adding and subtracting fractions. You might be thinking, we've already done this. We have, but we haven't added and subtracted fractions and then put it in its simplest form, okay? You now know how to put fractions into their simplest form. So we're going to apply what we've learned with adding and subtracting fractions, okay? So our focus question is, what fraction of the sweets did Charles and Ruby take all together? So Charles said that he took 1/6 of the sweets in the box, and Ruby said that she took 3/6 of the sweets in the box. Okay, and we know that we've got 6 parts here because this is the box, and it's been split into 6 parts. Okay, so our calculation would be 3/6 add 1/6. Okay, so we would know 1/6 add 3/6 is going to equal 4/6 because 1 add 3 equals 4. Okay, so Charles and Ruby took 4/6 of the sweets. So can our 4/6 be simplified any smaller? Okay, let's have a look at 4 and 6. What times table? Oh, I've got the wrong box there. What times table goes into both 4 and 6? Okay, well, we know 4 and 6 are both even numbers, so 2 goes into both 4 and 6. So if we divided the numerator and the denominator by 2, because remember, whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom, okay, we're going to get 2/3. So you can say 1/6 add 3/6 is 2/3 or 4/6, but we're going to say it's in its simplest form, it is 2/3. Okay, if we have a look at our fraction rule up here, we've got 4/6, and that is being split into 2/3. Okay, if you want to pause the video here and go back and have a look at how we did that, you can do that. If not, we're going to move on. So, subtracting now. What fraction of the box of cupcakes remains after 5 cupcakes are eaten? So how many cupcakes do we have all together? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've got 7 cupcakes all together. Each piece, okay, each cupcake is 1/8 of the box, because we know it's been split into 8 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and each cake is 1/8. Okay, so our calculation is going to be 7/8 take away 5/8. So if we look at it pictorially on this picture here where my mouse is, we're just going to cross off or take away, like the picture's showing us here, 5/8. How many cupcakes have we got left? That's right, we've got 2/8. Okay, 2 and 8 are both even numbers, so we know we can divide it. Okay, we also know that 4 is in we also know we can divide, so we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, so what is 2 divided by 2? Well, let's do our 2 times table, and let's use our piano fingers. So 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1, because 1 times 2 is 2. Remember, whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So 2 divided by 2 is going to be 4. So you can say 2/8 is equivalent to, is to simplify to 1/4. Okay? So if I wanted to subtract 3/8 from 7/8, now I'd have to have my 7 all together, and I'll need to take 3 away. Okay? So we can cross 3 off. 1, 2, 3. So how many have we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, because 4 add 3 equals 7. So 7 take away 3 is 4. We know we had 8 altogether, so it's going to be 4/8. And then if we have a look here, 5 take away 3 is 2. And then we have 2/8. Okay, So if we showed this on a number line, we can have our 5/8, starting on our 5/8, subtract 3/8, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to end up on 2/8. If we have a look at 4/8 here, can this be simplified any further? Well, yes, it can, because 4 and 8 are both in the 4 times table. So if I did 4 divided by 4, and 4 divided by 4, because whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom, is going to equal 1/2. Okay, so if I then had 2/8, can I simplify that any further? So I can divide it by 2, because it's both in the 2 times table. 2 divided by 2 is going to equal 1. And then 8 divided by 2 is going to equal 4, because 4 times 2 is 8. So I've subtracted my fractions and I've put them in its simplest form. You need to make sure today you put your answers in the simplest form. Okay? So this time it's a bit different. What fraction of pizza was left? The pizza was cut into 5 equal slices. Sam ate 1/5 of the pizza. Okay, so you might think the calculation will look like this. 1 take away 1/5, which is correct. This is what the calculation will look like. However, you might look at this and go, how do I work that out? Well, it's easy, because we need to change this 1/2 into a fraction. Okay? If we know there were 5 equal slices altogether, that means there were 5 slices and there are 5 altogether. We haven't eaten any yet, have we? Okay? So it becomes 5/5 take away 1/5. Okay? That is exactly the same equation. So 4/5 of the pizza was left. Okay? So when you have a whole, you need to convert it into what the fraction will look like. Okay? You know what the denominator will be, because it's what you are either adding or subtracting from. Okay? So the next question says, subtract 1/3 from 1. So we have our 1/2, which is going to be 3/3, because that's going to make our whole 3 out of 3, because our denominator is 3. Going to take away 1/3, that's going to equal 2/3. And that can't be simplified anymore. Okay? So I want you now to pause the video, and I want you to, if you can, work in groups of 4, only if you can. I want you to use fractions to make an addition and a subtraction story. Write the stories on a piece of paper. Write the correct addition and subtraction equations. So, for example, if I wrote one, I would say, Sam eats 1/5 of a cake. Lulu eats 2/5 of a cake. How many bits of cake do they eat altogether? So my fraction in the calculation would be 1/5 add 2/5 equals 3/5. Okay, so they'll eat 3/5 of a cake together. I would then draw my cake. If I had squared paper for my maths lesson, I would make my cake a square cake and use the squares to help me draw my 5 pieces of cake, because it'll be nice and even. Okay? Or if you want to, you can just draw a cake with 5 pieces in. Okay? I want you to show your group stories to the class, well, not to the class, but to your group. Use pictures to show how you add or subtract. So you can use a bar model, or you could use a picture. So create one story and read the story to the person in your group. You might have one person in your group. You might just do it to yourself. That's also absolutely fine. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here and have a go at creating your own addition and subtraction fraction story. Okay, good luck. So moving on, we are going to now try our guided practice. Okay, so we know 1/7 add 5, 1/7 add 5/7. 1 add 5 is going to equal 6, so it's going to be 6/7. 1/6, add 4/6. If I had 4/6 here, I'm going to add one more 6. It's going to equal 5/6. Okay. And if I had 2/3 here, add 1/3, I'm going to equal 3/3, which equals 1 whole. So I'm going to put 3/3, and I'm going to say equals 1 whole. Okay, and our last addition one is going to be 4/8 add 2/8. So 4/8 add 2/8 is going to equal 6/8. And I know 6 and 8 are both even numbers, so they can both be equally divided. Okay, so they could be simplified. So 6 divided by 2 is going to equal 3, because 3 times 2 is 6. And then whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So 8 divided by 2 is going to equal 4. So we've got 3/4. Okay, so if we now go up here, subtract 7/10 from 4/10. So I'm going to colour in 7/10 of my bar. So you can count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what I actually want to do is make it a bit see-through so we can easily cut them off. So let's do it this way. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so now we can actually see the squares. Okay, and I'm going to take away 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many have we got left? That's right, we've got 3 out of our 10 altogether left. Okay, going to do the same for 5, 6. Going to colour in 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to take away 3. You might know, oh, that's easy. I can just do that in my head, because 5 take away 3 is 2. That's right, but I want you to prove you are right, like I always like you to do. So that's going to be 2/6. Okay, can 2/6 be simplified any further? Does 2 go into both numbers? It sure does. 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1. And then 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. So 2/6 is the same as 1/3. So I've simplified my answer. Okay. Now I've got 1 whole, take away 1/5. So we know if we've got 1 whole, we've got 5 altogether. So it's going to be 5/5 take away 1/5. Okay, so I'm going to, we might know, yep, 5 take away 1 is 4/5. That's what we think is going to be right. Let's prove we are correct by colouring in the 5/5. I'm then going to take 1 away. So how many have we got left? That's right, 4/5. So what about this one then? We've got 1 take away 4/7. 1 whole take away 4/7. So let's convert our 1 into 7/7, because 7 is our denominator. So 7/7 take away 4/7 is going to equal, well, 7 take away 4 is 3. So it's going to equal 3/7. Again, need to prove we're right. So we've got our 7 here. 2, 4, 6, 7. We're going to take away 4 to prove we are right. 2, 3, 4. So we've got 3 left. We were right, which is brilliant. Okay. We have 1 take away 2/6. Okay. So if we've got our whole here, we've got, so 6 out of 6 take away 2/6. So how many have we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4/6. Okay. Oh wait, no. Let me just do this. They've laid it out like this way. So we've got 6/6. Take away 2/6 is going to equal 4/6, which we've just proven we are correct. Can 4/6 be simplified? Sure can. Can be simplified by 2, dividing by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we've got 2/3. Okay. Now we've got 1 take away 3/4. So I'm going to make my 1 whole into 4 quarters. Then I'm going to take away 3 quarters. Oh, not equal sign, Mrs. Boyd. Don't want the equal sign, do I? 4 quarters, take away 3 quarters, which equals what? Well, 4 take away 3 is 1, and we don't change the denominator. Okay? And then we have 1 whole, which is going to be 5/5, take away 3/5. Which is what's that going to equal? I know that if we were in school right now, you'd be shouting the answer to me, and it's going to equal 2/5. Okay? What I would like you to do is, using your fraction rule from last week, I want you to tell me which is greater, 1/4 or 2/5. That is your challenge, okay? Right, I want you to get on with the activities today. Okay, let's focusing on the adding and subtracting in fractions, and please make sure you put your answer in the simplest form. Okay, see if it gets any, can be divided to any smaller. Okay, good luck.